Thinking about leaving your soul sucking 9 to 5 job, one of the biggest struggles I see people, especially as women, face is the idea of having that safety net, that enticing perks and benefits, and listening to that head trash of what will people think if I leave. I totally get it, and I've been where you are. That's why I created a free guide to help you if you're thinking about putting in that notice. It's called Unlocking Your Exit Plan. Discover 5 things you need to do before leaving your 9 to 5. This guide is filled with worksheets and steps so you will have hand holding along the way. You can download your copy in the link in the show notes, and again, it's totally free. Now back to today's episode.
Welcome back to another episode of the Hello C.S. Dorsey podcast. I'm so excited to be on the show today, again, by myself. But one of the things that I really wanted to talk about, and this is very vulnerable for me, seeing as though I haven't talked about it much, only to a selected few people, and is that I fired myself from my 9 to 5, which I am really excited about. It is something that I've been wanting so long, and I wanted the opportunity to have my own business, start my own business, and I prayed on it a lot. So I'm going to get to. I know I have a podcast episode, and I have to find that episode, talking all about my 9 to 5 being and how it was, and it was toxic. And I don't want to go into too many details. Maybe I will one day, but it's being there was something that, you know, I'm pretty sure all of you can relate to it. The, what do you want to call it? The politics, the toxicness, you work so hard, you know all the things in the department. So I was a supervisor for a financial institution. I will not say the name. And I've been there 18 years. And I have definitely moved up. I'm worked to move up. I moved up to become a supervisor eventually. And I was a supervisor over a department, had my crew up under me. um, and it was cool. I learned how to run a department. It was running like a well oiled machine. It was awesome. My team members was amazing. They got on my nerves at times, but they're team members. They're supposed to, like your children, right? So we had a really good dynamic, and I learned so much along the way. But here comes the issue. When you have so many different managers or leadership over you, and it keep rotating and keep rotating and keep rotating, and you have these different leaders that's over you, and they have their way that they want to do things, which is fine. Okay? But you know your worth. You know so much what you're worth, and you work to prove your worth. They still don't see it because in their mind, they already have a person in mind that they want to be in that spot or to be in your position. No matter how much you know, doesn't matter. It do not matter. The thing of it is, in the corporate world, it's not about what you know, what you learn, or what you can do. It's about who you know, and essentially who rear end you can kiss. And I say that because we all know that it's true in the corporate world. You can have all the degrees, and I'm sorry, I'm moving my mic if you can hear my mic, but you can have all the degrees, you can have all the accolades, but if you're not in it, if you're not networking, if you're not speaking to the right person, if you're not friends with the right person, then guess what? You don't matter. That's just how it goes. Okay? It got to the point where when I was passed up for multiple opportunities, when I was passed up for being a manager, I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll try again. But I'll just say who they put in, it just didn't work. It was very toxic. It was very hard for me to do my work. It was very hard to focus. It was very hard to be that leader that I knew that I could be, because you're constantly hearing that you're not. You're not innovative enough. All you want to do is you want to, what's the term for it? You're comfortable. You don't want to move up. We don't see that that's what you want to do. And it's like, well, do I have to kiss somebody's butt to even move up? I mean, like, what? The proof is in the pudding. I don't have to wave my hand and say, hey, pick me. My proof is in my work and my job. And there's no other candidates out there that's like that. So that was definitely hard for me to swallow. And I had to endure that almost every single month, every single time. It was always something like, I will take that information. I'll say, okay, I'll try to do my best to, to put in the effort, all the things to say that I was not. I was trying to turn around, say, yes, I was. And then it just wasn't good enough. And when you're getting told multiple times, basically figure out what you want to do, you have a couple of months to figure it out. It's like, what is it? Why? So, got on my nerves, and I just prayed. But let me rewind back to 2020 during the pandemic. During the pandemic, when I was at home, it was the perfect time for me. It was the perfect time to really sit and say, okay, Candace, if you want to eventually have your own business, you need to start preparing for it. So that's what I did. I wrote down everything that essentially I need to clear up as far as bills, what else I had, we had a car note, all that stuff. So I wrote down everything we had, and I said, okay, we need to clear up all of these things. If not clear it up, get all these things, getting certain bills down. And then when it's time for me to make that transition or that shift, it will be no problem. I'll have the money in the bank, the bills will be low enough to where, so if I need to get a part-time job until my business gets started, I can do so. So I did. I worked hard. We worked really hard to get bills down, pay cars off, pay things down, get rid of the streaming service, also save. And the thing of it is, you add up all your bills. Once you get certain bills down, and certain bills you just can't get down, you add up all your bills and say, okay, how much money do I need a month to actually live off of and pay these bills until things start taking off? Now I know a lot of you probably listening and saying, well, Candace, shouldn't you have waited until your business took off, or shouldn't you have worked at another job before you left? The thing of it is, no. Why? I saved enough money by the grace of God to be able to be off how many ever months. And I'm so grateful because my mom supported me 100% on this. Also, taking into consideration I don't have any children, so that actually helped. But yeah, I could have applied for another job, but I said I don't want to. I don't want to be under somebody. I don't want to make somebody else rich while I'm sitting here scraping up for food. I can't do it. I don't want to do it anymore. It's time for me to come into myself and make something for myself so that I can leave something for my kids one day, or so I can have something for myself that I'm over. Make my own self rich. Okay? So I did that and I worked on that. And when it was time, I knew it. I knew it was time. And I'm going to tell you, that is the most scariest thing ever in your life. When you're scared about doing something like that, it is so scary. I had reservations. I've had anxiety. I've had it all. It was the most, not horrifying feeling, but yeah, it was scary because when you do things repetitiously for like 18 years, that's all you know. I've been working since I was 21, like full-time job since I was 21. Been really working since I was 15, but I have never like had that moment where I was off. So I did that and I knew it was time. I felt it. I felt it. And you know when you feel it. I gave my notice and it was freeing. But of course, the hard part is, you know, you'll definitely have those around you. That's why I haven't told any of my family members. They don't need to know. But you have those around you that be like, why are you doing that? You're crazy, this and the other. Understand this. Number one, they have no heaven or hell to put you in. That's number one. Number two, they are not paying your bills. And number three, they are not you. Simple as that. Because everybody think in their mind, I'm not going to say everybody, but people, especially your loved ones around you, we totally understand that they want you to be safe, but in their mind, they want them to be safe. It's not about you. It is not about you. When they telling you that, it's not about you, it's about them. Okay? My response is, I know you love me. I know, I get it 100%. But if I don't do this, if I don't leave, I'm probably going to die eventually from a heart attack. I've heard horror stories of people dying on the job, having a heart attack, never to be recovered again from working. Like, like, seriously? Oh, my goodness, that's another story for another day. But, so, that's my decision, okay? That's how it came to this point. Okay. So if you are thinking in your mind or if you're contemplating about leaving your 9 to 5, start working on your plan. Start working on it. Okay. And here's the thing. We're living in a day and age where everybody or people out there are trying to work and do their own thing. They're trying to have their own business. They're trying to have their own income because the 9 to 5 is old news, and I will say it. You know, a lot of people who love their 9 to 5 jobs is probably going to come at me. I don't care. But having a 9 to 5 is obsolete. It's old. It's old. It's time to change, and it is time to work for yourself. It's time for you to take action on your dream. It's time to get rid of that old mindset of, oh, you need a job. You need to work for someone. Get rid of it. It's time for something new. It's time for a change. And it's time for you to start thinking about yourself. I want you to think about you. I don't know who I'm talking to. I really don't. But it's time for you to start thinking about yourself. And people can say, oh, you're selfish. No, you're not. No. Because you could be one heart attack away from the grave. And I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it 100% real. Okay? If you are in, listen, if you are in a toxic work environment, if your soul left and is no longer at your job, like you are just a shell and you're on autopilot, it's time for you to start working on leaving. Work on a plan. Okay? So, hopefully you like this. I'm going to continue this series. And the next time I have the next episode is going to be all about preparation. What do you need to do in order to prepare you for that exit? And I'm going to dive into deep about bills. I'm going to talk about um, medical, vision, dental, all that stuff. I'm going to talk about stuff that people don't even talk about. Yeah, there's coaches out there that say, there's coaches out there that say, leave your 9 to 5, start working on your side hustle. That's fine and dandy, but what about my 401k? What about my medical? What about my vision plan? What about all of this stuff that I have before I do my side hustle? Or when my side hustle kick in? Because oftentimes, you may be generating the money coming in from the side hustle, but you have other things that you essentially need to work on. And I always find service providers always ask, what medical shall I take? What medical do I need? So I'm going to talk about that in the next episode. I really hope that you stick around with me, and I really hope that this episode was helpful. And, if you need help, if you need support, please reach out to me. You can email me at hello@csdorsey. That's DORSEY with an S at the end .com. Or you can send me a DM through Instagram. That's csdorsey_hello. You can send me a DM. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know what you're feeling. If you're in a 9 to 5 right now and it's a soul sucker, please reach out to me. Let's talk about it. Okay? Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Leave a review if your heart is led to do so. And I will talk to you again in the next episode. Bye.